Let's take a quick look at some other GarageBand preferences that you might want to look at. This might help you with troubleshooting, or also when you start to publish student work. A lot of this will tie into iTunes, and we'll go through and talk about some of these preferences right now. First of all, in getting to GarageBand preferences, make sure that you go up to GarageBand, and I'm going to trace down to Preferences. After you click on Preferences, it will give you a dialog box that looks like this. And let's take a look at some of these options. First off, on the General tab, I'm going to make my way to the General tab, and we're going to leave the setting on right here of cycle recording. Over on the next tab is your audio and MIDI, and you can see right here, this might go through and help you a little bit with troubleshooting as well. Some of this will tie over to the sound preferences video that I talked about earlier, but let's kind of go through and look at some of these options. Here's the output device, so you can see that right now my output device is on a built-in output. That means that it's going to come, the sound is going to come out of the speakers. Also on the input device, you can see that sometimes GarageBand will pull over the system setting that you set in a different area there. And as you go through and take a look at system setting, here again, to get into troubleshooting, if you need to navigate and choose the built-in microphone, this is where that can be done as well. I'm just going to leave it on system setting for right now. Down at the bottom here where it says effects, sometimes different type of third-party plugins, they're actually called audio units. If you are getting in and been using a lot of audio units, you want to be sure and turn that on so GarageBand can recognize different type of audio units or plugins that's attached to your projects here. So that'd be a good option that you would want to leave selected on. I am going to leave it turned on. Okay, let's make our way over to the Loops tab. We'll keep all the default settings here. Over on the My Info tab, as you go through and work with students with their project, this is where a lot of this will tie over when they start to export their projects out of GarageBand into iTunes. Here you can have each student or each user type in his or her first name followed by their last initial. If this should become published, we want to make sure that we don't list the student's last name. The artist name, they can fill out the same information. Any type of albums that they could create could be called, right here is the album. And then finally on the iTunes playlist, when students export their GarageBand project and pull it into iTunes, this would come up and generate as a new playlist. So that would be something that the students could fill out. And last but not least, on the Advanced tab, most of the advanced settings here, if you're getting to big projects, you want to keep about an idea about some of your file space and what's available there if you're going to be using MacBook Airs. But the best audio recording resolution would be to turn it on to 24-bit. And the auto normalize will, as we go through and we export different type of projects at full loudness, that's kind of a good setting that auto normalize increases the loudness if needed, so the project is not too quiet, and we'll leave the setting there. All right, these are some good preferences to look at and might help you with troubleshooting down the road.